Welcome to the BHS annual meeting. This year is so special because we are celebrating our 150th year anniversary. I got to see so many of you at the party. You came from all over, from Florida, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York. We had more than 1,000 agents there. And what was truly notable to me was that we came together for the first time since the merger as a community of one to celebrate and have a great time. And it was the best party ever. I encourage everybody to look at the timeline, which is on the events page. It was there at the party, and kudos to Matt Leone and his team for putting it together, and Ashley Murphy, our head of communications. Looking at the history really gives you an understanding of Brown Harris Stevens, where we started, and all of the accolades that we have achieved throughout 150 years. If you think about it, we were here before the Statue of Liberty was unveiled in 1886 and before the 5 boroughs were created in 1898. Brown Harris Stevens is sewn into the fabric not just of New York City, but of the real estate industry as a whole. We've seen so many different things. Our story is one of passion, endurance, and a relentless pursuit of excellence, always. Clearly, we're in more challenging times economically since last year. But if you think about where we were a few years ago with the pandemic, with things being shut down, with not knowing when we would open and when the economy would move again, someone said something to me that the economy is like a shark. It dies if it doesn't keep moving. And I think that's what everybody's concern was way back then. And although we're in challenging times now, we're in a much better place than we were. And it's because we worked as a collective, as a group, and we came together. We merged the companies. We built a stronger company today. And I think that's a huge accomplishment that everybody at this company should feel really proud of. I want to make a special mention and thank you to Kevin Kaveski, because he's been working so hard with Juliet Clapp to put together his new office on the West Side. And he's been up, I know, at 3 in the morning thinking about things, but the office is really getting there. It looks beautiful. And I want to say thank you to Kevin and Juliet as you've worked together and made the office look so good. I know the agents love it. They've been taking photos and sending them to me, so thank you guys. And also, in other news that's very exciting, we signed a lease for a new space, 20,000 square feet at 105th Avenue, and we're working on it now to set it up. And it's going to be the new home to the agents from 831 Broadway, and we're really looking forward to getting that together and showing it to you guys soon. I've noticed that more and more agents are coming into the office. I'm getting reports from other executives that traffic has picked up, and I can't emphasize enough the value you get when you come into the office. Not only do you get to see your colleagues and find out what's going on with them and how they're doing, you get to talk to some of the executives. And office culture is so important because you connect to your colleagues, but you also get information. And as Hall always says, we are in the service and information business. So, I mean, don't discount coming into the office. I encourage you, come in, show up, pop in and say hi, talk to your colleagues, and see what a difference it makes to get real-time feedback from your colleagues to get a pulse on the market, what's going on, how were their open houses, are they negotiating, is it quiet? I think it's really helpful to you and to your clients because you can give them real information in real time. So I hope everybody will start coming into the office more. I'd like to give a big thank you to all of the executives and our employees and to our chairman for their support, and a big shout out to Alan Kersner for all that he does for us. What's really exciting for us now is that there's a spring launch of our campaign that Matt Leone and his team has been working on with Andrew Sachs to celebrate our 150th year anniversary in business, which is such a huge accolade for a privately held company, and I'm so excited to see that launch in the spring. And I know that right now, as I talk to so many agents all the time, that it's a market that's recalibrating. We're in tougher times than we were obviously in 2021, and even the first half of 22 was a really good year for us, and it slowed down. And because of the rates going up, because inflation is still not where we want it, the market has slowed down a bit. Inventory is tight in certain places. I know in Connecticut, I spoke to Chris Halstead, and he shared with me that inventory is at an all-time low. And so, these are challenges that we've lived through before, and we will get through these again. And you guys are really the best of the best. And I think in this environment, when it's more challenging, is when your expertise comes into play. When people rely on you, buyers and sellers, to guide them with what's going on with rates and inflation, that's when they come to you and they need you the most. And so I think you guys will shine like you always do. And I am so excited and so happy to be able to celebrate with you all of your accomplishments in 2022. You had a great year. We worked together. And thank you so much for everything that you do to make us look great. Now, please enjoy and watch this sit-down interview that I had with Barbara Corcoran that I did in collaboration with Fordham and the Real Estate Institute. And it's a great program that they have offering to people who are interested in studying real estate. And Barbara was so kind to sit down, answer a lot of questions, but also talk about her experience, how she made it in real estate. And she's so funny, witty, and I hope you enjoy this. I know I did. Thank you so much, Ryan, for that. And welcome to Titan Talks. And Barbara, thank you so much for coming and being our first guest.
I want to tell them how you got me here.
I'm going to tell that story, but I have a question first. Who has read Barbara's book? Who has read it? All right, guys, we have some work to do, because if you haven't read this book, you need to order it. It's a great read, even if you're not getting into real estate. There's so many great stories in here, so I encourage you to get this book, Shark Tales, or if you don't have big breasts, put ribbons on your ponytails. It's the same book, but they're great. I love them. But I want to I'm going to surprise Barbara right now. When I started as a manager, my first day, what arrived on my desk was this, with a note, inside, inscription from Barbara.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. It says, "For Bess, here's wishing you the best of luck managing my wonderful people. Treat each of them like the treasures they are. Love, Barbara." So this is Barbara, right? And that's exactly how Barbara ran her business. When I was there as an agent and I was expecting, and I had a huge stomach and pregnant with my son who's almost 20 now, Barbara ran up to me. I was in the lobby and she put her hands on my stomach and came up to me and asked me how...
I'd be sued for that today.
Yes, that's right. And so, but that's how Barbara Corcoran operates. She sees people, she takes care of people, she raises the level of everything. So I'm so excited to have you here today. It's really an honor. And if you want to tell that story about how I got her here, we'll talk about that later. Okay. Sorry, we're going to have to get into that later. I want to talk first about a story in this book when Barbara was first starting in real estate, and she had a little bit of money, and she wanted to buy a new coat, and she marched over to Bergdorf Goodman's, and she says she was the flashiest coat on the floor, curly brown with white fur, diamond buttons going down, big shoulder pads, and so she bought this coat. And it was her brand. It was a statement. And everybody knew Barbara with this coat on. And I love that story because you have to invest in yourself, your own brand. And you are a mastermind at that. No one does it better than you. And I want to know, where did you get that from? Talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think, where did I get my ability to brand from? It's a great question. My earliest recollection was I was the entertainer in my neighborhood. We had 10 kids. We all play our games on the block. But all the kids in town wanted to play on my block because I made phenomenal chalk games. Like circular games, every square you had to do something different. I put different colors with chalk. And I found it was my way to make friends. Hey, how are you doing? I've seen more familiar faces. And I realized if I had a gimmick, I would have friends. I was rather shy, didn't know how else to do it, but I was very popular. I had a different situation at school, however. I was the dumb kid. I couldn't read. I couldn't write. The kids laughed at me. So I almost had two personalities, you know? Mm. And I realized my power tool was dreaming up some kind of gimmick that could entertain people. And I did it for my entire life. I had 22 jobs by the time I turned 23. I know because I counted them once. But I realized in every job that I excelled at, not important jobs, menial jobs, it was because of my personality and my ability to entertain. And if you think about marketing, it's nothing more than catching someone's attention and holding it and having them look at you versus the next guy. And so I've always been able to get attention.
Yeah.
I should mention one other thing. As one of 10 children, you have a huge advantage in getting attention because you have 2 parents and you have 10 kids who want their attention. And so I competed for attention with my mother and father. And I didn't often win. We all won. We were all competitive. But I had early grooming on getting attention, and that's what marketing is. I think that was your question, marketing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's how you knew to stand out. You went and you got a coat. You said, I'm going to get the flashiest girl in the room. That's the coat.
Yeah.
And you knew when you walked down the street, everybody was going to say, that's Barbara because of your coat. So you had that early on.
Yeah. I might also add, not to get you away from your second question, but I might also add I bought that coat for $340 out of my first $350 commission check. So I had that check in my hand, and rather than thinking, what should I do with it, buy another ad in the New York Times or pay the rent next month, I thought, I got the money for a coat. And anyone else would think randomly or recklessly spending money like that would be stupid. I found in that coat, I was a cat's meow. It was so god-awful tasteless in hindsight. But I wrapped myself in, and I was no longer that kid from New Jersey. I was the fancy lady in New York. And so even that was a marketing trick, sort of, right?
And it was an investment in yourself.
Yes, it was. Right? I also wanted to show off.
Yes, exactly. Why not? Well, Barbara, the famous story is that you built the group with a $1,000 loan. You turned it into a $5 billion company. And so I keep going back to the book because it's got so many beautiful lessons. At the end of the book, when you sell the company, if you look at your bank statement and you see that number and it blows your mind, and you say, it all came down to Mom. She never said I couldn't. She only told me I could, which was very moving to me and beautiful. And so I want you to talk a little bit about how your upbringing and how that inspired you and how you were able to do so much from parents who really believed in you and trusted you.
Well, I think as people, all we really need is one person in our court, firmly in our court, with our back, and you're loved top to bottom. Now, I happen to have the good luck of having 2 parents like that. Think of the richness of having 2 parents who love me, right? And with having such a difficult time in school, I just really had a hard time thinking well of myself because you define yourself by the school, the classroom, that narrow definition with math and reading, and I was a dunce. But thank God I had my mother because when I came home from school, she always told me I was a genius. I guess she made that shit up, But I believed her somehow, so I could be that Barbara versus the other Barbara. But my mother had unbelievable skills. If I had competed with her, she would have put me out of business. She had an organizational strength that I've never seen in my life, actually. She had systems for everything. She ran our 2-bedroom household with 10 kids, think of that, like a boot camp. Everything had a drawer, everything had a color-coded, everything. She was like an organizational genius, so nothing was out of place. But my mother's other great strength was with people. She was not only popular in our town, everyone went to her for advice, but with her children, she believed that each of us had a unique gift. And when she took us home from Holy Name Hospital, she would introduce the child to however many kids were already at home. And she would say, look at your brother T. He's going to make a magnificent dancer. And we went, wow, a dancer. Now, how did she know he was going to grow up and dance for Alvin Ailey Dance Theater? Wow. Because she said he had fat legs and he was kicking like hell. But she labeled each child with a certain gift and then told us about that gift and put us to perform that gift. She said, my gift was my imagination. It was her idea to have me make the chalk games. It was her idea to have me open a rock store. It was her idea with all the wacky stuff. But in enabling us to have our own little platforms as one of 10, she built each of us. And the other thing she did was, as you get older, you appreciate what your parents did well. You forget about what they didn't do well. I'm sure she did something wrong. But she was able to build our strength and never make us question ourselves. And we went out as our mother's kids. And that was the gift of my mother. Now, in building my business, if I were to name the 2 greatest things I had organizational strength. You give me a mess, I couldn't make a system out of it in a second. I could see right through it and know what to do. And if you give me a person, I could size them up and down. I could do that to you, just by looking at you. And I would know how to choose your strength and build around it easily. And think about building a business. It's all people. It's all what you do with that individual, right?
Yeah.
And that I all got from my mother. I don't think there's anything original about me, quite honestly.
Well, there are many original things. So I see you as a pioneer. I know everybody here sees you as that. Do you see yourself as a pioneer?
Oh, most definitely. I do.
Yeah.
I still am in my own respective space. You know, it was easy for me to be a pioneer, if you think about it, because I started in the old boys club. I wasn't welcome. I wasn't acknowledged. I wasn't respected. And you know what the upside of all that is? You're free to do as you want. If I had had privileged parents and expectations and money, a lot of what I would have attempted to do would not have been pioneering. I would have saved money, not want to embarrass anybody. I would have had attorneys or accountants to vet things through, like the big guys had. You know, I was free as a bird. And when nobody's watching you and nobody gives a damn what you're doing, you come up and bite them in the ass when they least expect it. And that was my goal. I wanted to be the queen of New York real estate. If people ignored me at a real estate board of New York meeting or didn't give me respect or tried to pack with each other against me, then I knew I was going somewhere. But until that happened, I was really free to do whatever the heck I wanted. Think of the advantage of that. And today, you know, kids are saddled with expectations, more affluent, more expectations, I think.
They're crippled by that because then they can't be free and do and innovate.
Not only that, they have to measure up.
Yeah.
What a pain in the ass to have to measure up.
Wow.
And what a freedom to do whatever you want. And I had that freedom. So my partner was freedom in all that, or I would have never been able to be the innovator, you see?
Yeah, that's where the pioneering came in, which is a big piece of our business.
I was thankful.
Your mom, there's so many lessons about, you know, that your mom taught you, but, you know, your mom inspired you so much, but she was not a businesswoman. So what do you think it was about her lessons that made you so successful in business?
She was practical. Everything she did worked. I witnessed her as a child. Everything worked. And so I just copied her. I just got the right people. I got the right systems. I loved my salespeople as much as my mother loved her children, and I did. Don't touch my agent. I mean, you might recruit him out, although that rarely ever happened. I just knew that my job was to work for my agent. I knew that from day one. It wasn't that the agent worked for me. I never, for a moment, thought that anybody worked for me. I worked for them. And so what could I do for you lately? How could I make you stronger? How could I wrap myself around you? What can I give you? On and on and on and on. I was there as a servant in every way I could. I think you could do that with any business today. Any shrewd, good manager, a good leader, I should say, rather than manager. Any good leader should do that because you get a free ride to the top on the back of your people. They get stronger and stronger, and all of a sudden you don't know why you're going up. You're going up because all your people are getting stronger, you see? And so I think I always had my priorities right. Even my mother did this. She tapped. I'm going to sit on my hand.
But I think that's what, you know, the agents that worked with you and people that work with you still talk about to this day. There's so many. I mean, Rhea and so many others come up and talk about you and how you inspired them, how you touched them and left them with something. They felt special. And not everybody
can do
special.
That. I didn't just pick anybody, you know.
No, I think that's what makes it different. So we have a lot of students in the room, and we have a lot of agents as well. But I think a lot of students ask themselves, what do I want to do as a career? They try to figure that out. And I say to my kids and to young people, you should do what you're good at. Work at what you're good at. Don't do what you love, because sometimes, unless you're good at what you love, because we have this concept in this country, I think, where it says, you know, pursue whatever you love, but sometimes you're not good at what you love. So find out what you're good at and pursue that. And so I would ask you, what advice would you give to young people who are pursuing a career? What do you think that they should think about?
Well, you need the experience of finding out what you're good at. It's great to sit at a desk and say, I think I'm good at this and this. It doesn't work that way. You have to throw yourself into the circumstance and see what you're good at. I like to draw a parallel between working and shopping, as weird as it sounds. You would go into a department store and realize you're going to pick out the right outfits for yourself. Everybody tried on all kinds of stuff before you knew it. You look good, and you don't wear this style, you don't wear that style. So you have to go out into the marketplace and try on a bunch of stuff. I think young people are under a lot of pressure to kind of decide what they were going to be when they grow up, even before they're grown up. I think it's hard. Remember, I had the advantage of 22 jobs. I knew I was good at. I knew exactly what I was good at. I knew exactly what I was bad at. Anything involved writing, I failed. Okay? Anything that I had to add up numbers, I failed. So I stayed away from those jobs. I eliminated those jobs and anything. What's the responsibility? Math? No, thank you. Even if it's adding up on a tab, you know? But I found out that I was good at bullshit. Okay? I was good at selling. I didn't see it as selling. I saw it as romancing the stone, you know? If I was working in a lady shop, you know, selling dresses, I would always say, let me put it on. Nobody else was putting it on. I would go 150% on what I was good at. If I had to talk someone into something, I would just stay on it till I talked them into it. But if I had to write them a letter and tell them why they should do it, I would have failed. And so I had in those jobs a realization that what I was good at was my personality and romancing people, getting my way through romance. Not through domineering, because I'm not that type, but just, hey, baby.
So, Barbara, real estate is, I think, a relationship business, right?
Yes, very much so.
So it's changed so much.
All business is a relationship business, honestly.
Yeah, but and real estate, though, has changed so much in the last 30 years. You used to have to go on index cards to get information. Everything's on the internet and transparent, and now you have social media and TikTok and all these things. What would you advise to people who are thinking about pursuing a career in real estate? What advice would you give them about real estate today? And what things should they think about?
Well, it would depend entirely on which area of real estate you're going into. So you're really asking what's the common ground between the many different facets of real estate, development, commercial, residential. I would say having passion for your business is number one. An attitude that you're going to find a way to do it. I mean, let me tell you, I worked with the most incapable people and got them capable, you know, because of attitude. I only hired attitude. I never hired talent in my life. I would try to size up the attitude on someone, give them a number in my head immediately, 1 to 10. If they were above an 8, 8.5, I'd hire them. I didn't care what they knew, what they didn't know. Their attitude was where I wanted, and I figured I could teach them everything else. So I think we are in a world where you want to have information and do the right things. I think most of success is about attitude. You know, maybe that sounds trite.
No, it's true. I mean, Hall always says that. He hires for personality.
And
always.
Hall Wilkie was a hell of a competitor.
Yes.
I don't still like you, Hall. But you have beautiful eyes.
He does have those. He does have those blue eyes. He does have those blue eyes. All right, so we know that rejection, we've all been rejected before, is a vital part of the learning process when it comes to learning. And you've been very open about when you first got onto, or were going to do Shark Tank, that you almost got cut from it, but then you ended up working with the producers and making it happen. How did you do that? How did you get them to reconsider you again?
I did what I did very well my whole life, stand back up. You know, when I was hired for Shark Tank, when they sent me the contract, I signed it without reading it. I sign all contracts without reading it. Takes too long to read it. I sent it right back, 1-day delivery, and I told all my friends, I'm going to Hollywood. I went back to Bergdorf's and bought a full leather set of luggage. I bought new outfits to sign autographs. In my little head, I was already in Hollywood. So after doing those embarrassing announcements, I got another call saying we changed our mind. We hired another woman for the one lone female seat. I couldn't believe it. I remember saying to the assistant to Mark Burnett, that can't be. I pictured it. Everything I picture always comes through. No, that can't be. That can't be. She finally got rid of me. And then I sat at the desk feeling sorry for myself. because I was so excited. It was my next big step in the media world. I was a daytime consultant on real estate on the Today Show, and this was my big chance. However, I brushed myself off in about 30 seconds. That's about what I give myself to feel sorry for myself. And then I sat down and wrote an email. Dear Mark, I understand, not exactly, but I'll give you the gist of it. I understand you've asked another girl to dance instead of me, but I'm much more accustomed. And I appreciate you using me as a fallback. Would you believe they actually had the nerve to say you're our fallback? I said, but I'm much more accustomed to coming in first. I consider your rejection a lucky charm. All the best things in my life happened on the heels of rejection. When? Starting with Sister Stella Marie telling me I'd always be stupid, she was wrong. I know how to read and write. When Donald Trump said I'd never see a penny of the $4 million commission he owed me, I sued him in federal court and won every dime. When I did,
That's in here, guys, by the way.
You know, I went through the things, like 4 of it. Yeah? And then I said, I'd like you to invite me to compete for the female seat, and I expect to be on that plane on Tuesday. And what do you think happened?
You were on that plane Tuesday.
What was key is, and not only that, I won the seat, but what is the most important part of that, and why I was able to do that, and why my career kept going on, why it wasn't just luck, it wasn't anything like that. It was my usual great ability to stand back up. Because I had grown so accustomed to being rejected from when I was young to when I was even in real estate. If you don't like rejection, what do you do in the real estate business? And so it was natural for me to stand back up. And it was the standing back up that got me the gig, of course. And think about that. I have invested in over 130 businesses to date. I've done this for 14 years. I'm like a fairy godmother. Do you know what a great job I have? You get to be rich, ding. You get to be rich, ding. You know, and I've had this very wonderful career. It wasn't until I was on the show 3 years that my producer said to me, you know, we signed up 3 times as many sharks as we needed. And then we rejected 2/3 of them. I said, wow, what did they do? He said, nothing. No one wrote a letter or an email or called as with an objection. They accepted it. Yeah. You know, if you're in our business, let me tell you, you have to learn how to get over rejection, and it's not personal. The real big difference between the superstars and everybody else, I know I studied these people. It wasn't connections. I thought it was connections. It wasn't how hard they worked. I fired more people that worked the hardest in my life. I felt terrible. They worked so hard and I fired them because I couldn't do it. But the real difference between the superstars and everyone else is they take less time feeling sorry for themselves. That's it. I couldn't come up with anything else. So when I started interviewing, that's what I drilled in on, trying to uncover. Can you tell me, you know, to see how good they are with rejection and not feeling sorry for themselves. It's terrible. I hire people. I choose partners. And what do I base my decision on? The business? No. The production? No. Do they know this? No. All I do is sit there in my seat and I think to myself, how good are they at getting back up? Because when they're good at getting back up, I make money. And when they don't, no, I don't make any money. When they play victim, even on the smallest way, I never make money.
Yeah.
I need someone who doesn't feel sorry for themselves. That's it.
Well, resilience, right? Yeah. Resilience is a muscle. You have to use it.
Yeah, but a quick resilience. You know, like, the hell with them. Move on. You know?
But a lot of people are unable, as you know, to do that. People
it's practice, though.
It's practice.
It is practice. It's not a God-given gift.
No.
It's just practice.
Well, you talk, not to bring this up, I wasn't going to, but you talk about this when you had a boyfriend, Ray, and he broke up with you and he left you for your secretary, Tina.
Yes.
And you say, there's a line in here that I underlined that you said, I felt I had no value without Ray. And I thought, how many people?
Silly girl.
I thought, but you took one day to feel sorry for yourself. One day you didn't go to work, and then you said, I'm back, I'm going to work, and you moved on.
Yeah.
But that magic at that young age is unusual. Because you take a minute to mope, you feel bad, you feel sorry for yourself, but you got to snap back. You got to keep going.
Yeah, but I was already 30. When Ramon Simone left me, I was 30 years old. By 30, I felt like I was 80. I'd been around the block.
You had a lot of jobs.
Not in a sexual way. But I had been, you know? And so that rejection, but I have to tell you, he gave me a gift that would have lifted anyone up. When we divided the company on that Friday afternoon, which took about an hour flat, you pick one person, I pick one person, you pick one person. We had 14 people, we each left with 7 people. I had to move out, he wanted to stay. But on the way out the door, he said, because I shocked him. I don't blame him, actually. He was a lovely man and my boyfriend, of course, for 7 years. But on the way out the door, he said to me, you know, you'll never succeed without me. And you want to know? I wanted to bend down and kiss that man's feet because I felt it in my chest. I thought, I won't use the F word, but I said, I'd rather die than let you see me not succeed. And he gave me an insurance policy that set me up for life. So if I wasn't already good with rejection, that put a steel in my back. You know what I mean? I'm not quite sure I would have gone through the tough times of building a business. You know, we had so many of them: bankruptcy, the stock market, 9/11. We had millions of them. I was always on the verge of bankruptcy because I was always overextended. But I would think of Ray's words and go, I got to try one more thing. And that one more thing would always work. So thank God that man gave me that insult. There's so much power in an insult if you could take it, own it, and say, I'll prove you wrong.
I love that. I love that. There's actually a quote in here.
This is like a book review.
I can't help it. I have to say, Barbara, this is such a good book because it has so many, it's just common sense, these lessons. But you say, I find that every big success happens after I think I've exhausted 100% of my options. For me, success only happens when I give another 10%, which is just what you were saying. And so I think that speaks volumes as to who you are. So I don't know if you've read or heard, I've been very vocal about the reality TV shows, $1 Million Listing. I think that they really portray what we do as real estate professionals in a bad way. They make the consumer think that it's easy, that we just look cute and have fancy cars and collect a big check, when it's really a huge hustle. So I've been very critical of them. And I know you're a reality TV star, a titan of real estate. What is your view on the reality TV shows that portray real estate agents?
I don't think it's so important what I think about it. I think what's important is realize you can't change it. I never complain about anything I can't change. It's not my realm to change that. Reality TV is reality TV. It makes real estate look glamorous. It makes it look easy. It's not. Anyone who's in real estate knows it's not easy. It makes superstars out of the reality TV stars. Their business comes at them that they don't deserve because people just want to associate with them. They got lucky, you're not lucky because you're not the guy on the show, you know? All right, but the fact of the matter is it brings people into real estate. That's the silver lining of this. It's exactly a parallel to Shark Tank. Shark Tank makes it look like starting the business is a big kahuna. If you have the right idea, I can tell you after investing in all those businesses, has nothing to do with success. Success has to do with building the business. Can you do it? Not having the idea. It's meaningless, okay? And much like the real estate reality TV, it's not going to change, but it brings entrepreneurs into my space. It builds entrepreneurs that would have never thought of starting the business because they see this fantasy world of being an entrepreneur, and they say, I'm going to do that. I mean, I have kids all the time saying, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. We never heard that before Shark Tank. So reality TV and real estate's the same way. It's bringing people in. Some people will leave with too much money they don't deserve as far as themselves. It makes it look easy, but who cares? You can't change it. It glamorizes it, and you can't change it. So you might as well just laugh about it and maybe try to become a reality TV star. Would be a smart move.
I think my criticism has been because I think it takes away from how hard it is to be a real estate agent. It's, as you know, 7 days a week. You have to have the hustle, muscle. You only get paid for what you the results. Yes. And I think it's such a poor portrayal of what we do that it takes professionalism, ethics, all these things. So that's why I've just been critical. I think it's great that some people make a lot of money and do that. Mm-hmm. But I say to consumers, that is not what it's about. Even though they portray that, it's like those housewives on TV. They don't wake up, you don't wake up with a stylist and your makeup done. I mean, you got the dog barking, you got the kid with the diaper. I mean, life is messy. And so that's the only thing with reality. It's not really reality. That's all.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, but think of the angst you feel in having that opinion. You're better off laughing it off.
Yeah.
And say, isn't it crazy?
Yeah, I guess.
And moving on.
I might have to have a drink for that.
Yeah.
I don't know, Barbara. You're better than me. I get too annoyed with it, but yes. So let me shift gears a little bit. I love there's a story about, which you probably heard, the bird on the tree doesn't worry about the branch breaking because the bird's trust is in its own wings, not on the branch, right?
Beautiful.
And I think that today with young people, there's so much chaos and riffraff, and I think we're in this comparison quicksand with social media, right? And everybody's looking at everything else, and also people are pulling on others for their own happiness, you know, like a boyfriend or material things. And young people do that because they can't help it. It's social media. My question to you is, to a lot of these young people and students out there, what would you say to them as to, like the bird on the tree, you know, stay in control of yourself, put power into yourself versus other things? What would you say to inspire them for their futures? What should they think about? How do they not get caught up in the mess of the everyday and the social media?
Well, let me share a story with you that might be helpful. First of all, you can't look right and left. You can't. You start comparing yourself to everybody else, you're minding their business, not your own. It's stupid. It's just downright stupid, okay? But how do you avoid it when so much is in your face, right? I had an interesting life lesson. I guess I was in business 7 or 8 years. We were probably 13 in our marketplace in the pecking order. Then we were 9, then we were 8. And by the time we were 7, boy, oh boy, I thought, you know what, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it to the top spot. I'm gonna be the queen like I wanted to be. And when I published the Corcoran report on 11 sales, God forbid why they ever published it on there. You know, the New York Times wrote about it. Goes to show you, they'll write about anything. However, once that was done and the reporters were coming to me for a lot of comment, I thought, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna study my competition. I knew what Hall Wilkie's listings were by price, by area of town, by who the agent was. I had massive charts. I knew what Douglas Elliman, all the people above me, I charted them out. I did it by the month with Esther Kaplan, who is my partner in the business. Charted out every month. You asked me any question about our competitors, I was like a walking genius. This kid who couldn't even study in school. That was the only year I didn't pull ahead. I started in 12th position, I ended the year in 12th position. Proving that I was so busy watching everything else that I wasn't doing my own knitting, okay? I threw those damn charts away, or had Esther do it, and I stopped watching. I didn't care what anybody was doing. I never cared again for the rest of my life. If someone had told me we were in first position, I would have been surprised, because I had nothing to measure against. If someone told me I was doing poorly, I wouldn't have been surprised either, relative to other people, because I had no idea what people were doing. I had my eyes on my own aisle, boom, I was coming down like a car on a racetrack. I find with people, with social media, it's so much harder to put blinders on. But I have talked very recently, I'm hoping to God it's a trend. I don't think so, because I think this is a giant wave that can't really change. But I've had a number of young people exclude themselves from social media, say, I'm not doing it anymore. That's amazing. Incredible. To do it. I don't think I could do it myself. You know, I love TikTok. But I think you have to just care about yourself. I think a comparison with anyone, you notice the people who are better than you. You don't notice the people who are worse than you. And why make yourself feel bad? Just pretend you're the only one in the world and do what you do. It sounds Pollyanna. I don't know if that's good advice, but I happen to practice that and believe that for myself.
No, I think it's great advice. I think it's hard. I think the younger, the more vulnerable you are. You know, I have a teenager.
Oh, so tough.
It's so hard because you see everybody, what they have, what they look like, and also social media just amplifies everything.
Yes,
and I think for young people, it's hard, but I agree. We say, you know, Seabiscuit. Just think about what you have to do. Don't look to the side. And I think it's a great piece of advice and what people have to try to do, although it's not easy.
Yeah, sure. I think young people would never heed advice like that. But I think if you're not that young person, a teenager, I don't see any excuse why you can't ignore what's around you and just do what you do. Yeah. Sounds I hate to say it because I can hear myself. I sound like I'm naive.
No, but
I don't read the newspapers. I don't watch TV. I exclude all that. If I can't do anything about it, I'll vote because I could do something about it. If I can't do anything about it, I don't let it take my time.
I think it's good advice. And also focus on building a better you. Take care of yourself.
Happier you.
Happier you, right? Happiness is so important. I always say sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. And Barbara, sometimes,
I hadn't heard that.
But yeah, it's, you know, sometimes I wake up and say, please, I don't want to learn anything more today. I'm done learning. This has been enough. There's so much struggle, right? And so sometimes in the struggle is where you learn everything.
Always.
It's just the way that it is. Any advice to people who are not so confident the way that you are, the way that you handle things? What advice would you give to people who don't just naturally have that?
I don't happen to be a believer that people are born with confidence or they're not, or they get it from their parents or not. I don't think that's the game changer. Myself, I think, especially with young people, I think you don't get confidence by winning. I have so many parents who come up and say, if only he would find his thing. He's such a talented man, isn't he, honey? I've been in this conversation so often. If only he would find his thing. Could you help him find his thing? How does a young person find his thing without going out and trying a lot of stuff out, right? So in my opinion, you find confidence by knowing that no matter what happens, you try the hardest. I know that sounds corny.
No, but it's true.
But it is true. I have practiced my entire life at trying. Sometimes you win. I would call it sometimes you lose. You're kinder than I. Okay. But you know what? I have to just know that no matter what, I will out-try anybody. Like, be a sucker and keep trying, keep trying. And in knowing that, that's where my confidence comes from. I know no matter what I confront, I'll out-try anybody. And if by knowing I can out-try anybody, I'm going to be much more successful than the next guy. Lose a lot, but my scorecard's going to be much better in the end. Yeah, so I think teaching people, or adults, teaching yourself, that you must try. You must keep trying and not hoping for a positive result even. Do you know what I do now in my business? I try everything. The stuff I try, I should be put in jail for. Honestly, it makes no sense. But I think of my office as a giant research and development company. We're not, we're in the media business. We try meta brokerage. God, what a waste. I've even studying it, okay? We try phone booths in Central Park giving advice. I make an ass of myself constantly. And out of all those tries, maybe 12 tries, I'll get maybe 2 hits. But I have 2 hits because I'm not ashamed to try. And that's the way I see myself. I'll try anything. I'll persist and try anything. And I believe that's what builds confidence. I've never been able to get confidence from having a success. In fact, when I've had a success, it makes me feel more insecure. Weird thing about me. Like, what's my next success? Uh-oh, what am I going to do now? So I'm never satisfied. I'm not that type of person that gets satisfied. But I get great satisfaction just saying, looking at you, you're my competitor, and go, I know I could out-try you on anything. That's where I get my confidence from. And I think that's true of most people, especially young people, the habit of trying. Yeah.
Perseverance.
Yeah.
Right? Not giving up.
Persevering, I guess it sounds more daunting.
Yeah.
Perseverance means it seems you're gonna bring the boar in, kill him. Yeah.
Trying. Yeah. Over and over. Well, some of the things that have changed for me as a leader when I first started out is I had not a lot of patience and I was more reactive. And I have learned to take space and think about how I want to respond to things. And I've improved. I've gotten better over time.
You've worked on it.
Wondering how you have changed as a leader throughout your career. How do you think you've evolved and changed and grown?
Well, I wish I could parallel you. I think I'm a worse leader, honestly, because I'm more impatient. I'm grumpy as I get older. I don't know why. My changes are behind me. I have nothing to be grumpy about. But I'm grumpier as I get older, and I'm less patient with people. And so I've gotten better at hiding it. Okay, but not changing it necessarily. That has made me less a good leader, but how I compensate for that, or I like to tell myself how I compensate, is I'm better at throwing the ball of wax to somebody and say, take it away. Really delegating it, and throwing another ball of wax until I see what they're made of. I overindulge people in challenge, and they grow very fast, whereas it used to be me coaching them. I don't have that patience.
You don't have that patience anymore. Well, you often say you don't have to get it right, you just have to get it going.
I just have a belief that the minute you have an idea, you have to get it going. What happens, sadly, with an educated society is people analyze. The ability to not analyze was my greatest forte in building my business. It's my greatest forte now. because while my competitors analyzed and checked with their accountants, checked with their attorneys, and had the committee meetings, I was out on the street with the idea. Boom, boom, boom. I think the second you have an idea, you get out in the street, run with it, try it out. Because out of all those things you run out on the street with, you're going to get like 60% of them. Well, everybody else is thinking about it. Thinking about it is the biggest obstacle to entrepreneurship in my field right now. I'm in the entrepreneur space. Entrepreneurs who think things through and make a great business plan and spend 6 months have a better chance of never doing it than the guy who has no business plan and runs out with it. Okay? And why I don't believe at all in business plans, unless you're raising funds and you have to put something fancy on a board and stuff. But if you're a real entrepreneur, I find in my space, you just get out and you try it, and that's your business plan. You get out in the street and see what works, what doesn't work, how you could change it. But if you're at your desk analyzing it to death, you never come up with the answers, you know? It's a bob and weave game. That's what you got to do.
You just got to get out there and do and get it going.
Get it going.
Get some momentum.
Get it going. Thank you for bringing me back to my words. Get it going.
Get it going.
Yeah. Did you say get it going?
Get it going.
Yeah, get it going.
Get it going.
Get it going.
No, get it going. Barbara, talk to us about how you deal with a bully. How do you handle a bully? I mean, so many times kids have this in school. We know it's an epidemic, you know, kids that bully other kids, which is so not nice. But as you get older too, there's sort of this meanness and not nice behavior that we see. How do you deal with a bully?
Well, first of all, if someone's bullying, you got something that they have.
They're jealous.
Either jealous or they've paid attention. So I'm complimenting, and I really am. I know if someone is mimicking me, stealing my idea, bullying me, they're jealous, they're insecure. And so I move on. I don't give any heedance.
You know, you have been a mentor to me, and you have
For a brief time.
No, for a whole time, for all the time, because you paved the way. You were a woman innovator, real estate, came on the scene, worked hard, never gave up, tenacious, all those things. You were a role model for me, and you paved the way for me and for everybody else that's here today. And we're all grateful for you. And you know, you changed the whole landscape of real estate, and everybody owes you a lot of gratitude for that. So I just want to say thank you for that. You are. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gene Cordano, and many of you know me. I'm the president and managing director of BHS New Jersey. Before I present our 2022 New Jersey Awards, I'd like to share some highlights of Brown Harris Stevens, New Jersey. BHS NJ has sold the most homes of any of our competitors, over $2.5 million in all of our primary markets. We hold the highest price sale records for both 1 and 2 family homes with an all-time high price of $6 million in Hoboken. And in fact, over the past 10 years, we've been involved in nearly 2/3 of all townhouse transactions in the town of Hoboken, or the city of Hoboken. All right, kudos. Let's begin with the top sale in New Jersey, which was at 614 Hudson Street in Hoboken, represented by Peter Cosio, and sold for $5.9 million. Congrats, Peter. The top agent in the Hoboken office was Dale Fiore, and the top agent and team in Hoboken was Hudson Realty Group. The top agent in our Montclair office was Allison McGuire, and she was also the top agent in the state for 2022. And the top team in New Jersey for 2022 was the Hudson Realty Group. Congrats to you all. Well done. And now I'd like to introduce you to Ava Vanderwater. She's the executive managing director in Palm Beach.
Thank you, Gene. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be with all of you today to present our Palm Beach Awards. I'm also happy to tell you that 2022 was our second best year ever. While the first half of 2022 continued the sizzling momentum of 2021, the market cooled in the second half of the year. There may be fewer sales now, but prices have not fallen. Last year, out of 77 Palm Beach home sales, there were only 2 sales under $5 million, and that's compared with 31 the previous year. The median sale price also grew to $12 million. That's up from $7.75 million the previous year. And currently, the median asking price in Palm Beach is just under $15 million. It appears to be a more normal market, but with much higher prices. And now on to our award winners. The top sale in Palm Beach in 2022 was represented by Ashley O'Neill at 1040 North Lake Way for third. Incredible job, Ashley. The top agent in our Coconut Row office was Alexis Waller. The top agent in our Worth Avenue office was Lily Lees Ferreira. The top team in our Worth Avenue office was Liza Pulitzer and Whitney McGurk. The top agent in West Palm Beach was Richard Berman. And the top team in West Palm Beach was the Kirkpatrick team. And now for the top agent in all of our Palm Beach division in 2022, Lily Lees Ferreira. And the top team in Palm Beach in 2022, Liza Pulitzer and Whitney McGurk. Congratulations to all of you. And now I'd like to introduce Sebastian Vallejo, Managing Director in Miami.
Thanks, Ava, and hello all. It's a pleasure to be here today to share our 2022 Miami Awards. So far, we're seeing two trends in the Miami real estate market in 2023. There is a strong increase in permanent market, Miami market residents who keep pushing for more homes, more schools, more restaurants, more health, legal, and public services. The increased volume of services keeps creating more jobs with demands for more workers and again, more housing. So demand isn't going anywhere south for now. Also, price increases and slower economies have hit many Latin American countries, luring many foreign nationals to invest in South Florida real estate in order to hedge against their own inflation rates while benefiting from the strengthening of our dollar against their own currencies. We found ourselves in a new, more mature market with sellers benefiting from an ongoing demand and buyers finding local motivations to move forward while having regained their ability to negotiate under normal conditions. We see a complex yet optimistic 2023 ahead of us in Miami. Now, let's start with our top sale in Miami in 2022, which was at 8777 Collins Avenue for $120 million, represented by Jeff Cohen and Vivian Diamond. Congratulations. The top agent in Miami Beach Continuum was Lisa Van Wagenen. Congratulations, Lisa. The top team in Miami Beach Continuum was the Keith and Sonia team. Congratulations. The top agent in Miami Beach Sunset Harbor was Romina Greenberg. Congratulations, Romina. The top team in Miami Beach Sunset Harbor was Curated Residences, Chris Dreyfus, Evan McComber, and Tom Jones. Congratulations. The top agent in the Coconut Grove office was Tony Schrager. Congratulations, Tony. The top agent in South Miami was Josie Wang. Congratulations, Josie. The top team in South Miami was the Preston Barrera team. Congratulations. And the top agent for Miami in 2022, Josie Wang. Congratulations. And last but not least, for the top team in all of Miami, congratulations to the Keith and Sonia team of our Miami Continuum office.
Thanks for the introduction, Sebastian. There were some very impressive BHS Hamptons achievements in 2022. We closed 2 of the top 5 sales in Southampton Village and the top 2 sales in Watermill. We had the second highest sale in Sag Harbor Village and in Montauk, as well as the second highest commercial sales in the Hamptons. We closed the top vacant land sale in the Hamptons in 2022. And one more thing, 2023 is off to a great start with a February sale of just under $30 million. With low inventory and lots of active buyers in our marketplace, we're seeing stable prices. Now, on to our wonderful Hamptons Award recipients. The top sale in the Hamptons in 2022 was 199 Cooper's Neck Lane in Southampton Village for $32.2 million, represented by Chris Burnside. Top agents in East Hampton was Peter Torino with Shannon North. Top agent in Sag Harbor was Jane Babcock. The top agent in West Hampton Beach was Lauren Batista. The top agent in Southampton, Christina Matos. The top agent in Bridgehampton was Andrea Ackerman. The top agent in the North Fork office was Marianne Collins. And the top agent in the Hamptons in 2022 was Chris Burnside. The top team in the Hamptons in 2022 was the Sirio Natter team. Congratulations. I'd now like to introduce Chris Halstead, our Senior Executive Vice President, Managing Director of Sales in Connecticut.
Thank you, Philip. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here today to present our Hudson Valley and Connecticut Awards. I'm proud to announce that in 2022, Brown Harris Stevens had the highest average sale price of any firm with over 100 transactions in the state of Connecticut. And as for the market, it remains very tight through the beginning of 2023. We're seeing record low inventory in each of our towns, coupled with high buyer demand. This has led to continued bidding wars, and record high prices across the region. Let's begin with the top sale in Hudson Valley, represented by Robin Horowitz and Nancy Falsetto at 234-238 Warren Street in Hudson, New York, for $2,775,000. Congrats. Our top agent in Hudson Valley in 2022 was Robin Horowitz. Congratulations again. In Connecticut, our 2022 top sale was represented by Chris Finley at 2 Broad Road in Greenwich for $10,675,000. Chris represented both sides of that deal. The top agent in our Greenwich office was Rob Johnson. The top agent in our Darien Rowayton office was Becky Monroe, and our top team in Darien Rowayton was the Nancy Dock team. Our top agent in New Canaan was Bettina Hagel, and our top agent in Westport was Mary Kate Clemish-Bain. The top agent in Stamford was Thaddeus Sheridan. The top agents in Connecticut in 2022 were, at number 2, Chris Finley, and at number 1, Rob Johnson. The top team in Connecticut in 2022 was the Nancy Dock team. Congratulations to everybody. Joining us now will be Brown Harris Stevens President of New York City, Paul Wilkie, who will present New York City Awards.
Chris, and good afternoon, everyone. As we all know, 2022 was a more challenging market for us in the city, especially in the second half of the year. And after compared to the spectacular number of transactions in 2021. Yet once again, we outperformed the market, which is so great, in New York City by selling 3,870 properties for over $7 billion versus 4,443 transactions in 21 for $7.8 billion. 50 of our sales were over $10 million. 27 of them were over $15 million, and 8 were over $20 million. In this company-wide meeting today, we are simply recognizing top agents and top teams in each of our offices, and our more comprehensive New York City meeting will be held on March 22nd, where we'll be giving out all the awards. Now, in New York City, our top sale was a tie. First, 35 Hudson Yards, Penthouse 90, Suzanne Rowe for $35 million. Congratulations, Suzanne. And 1045 Madison Avenue, Penthouse B, top sale, Amanda Brainerd for the same price, $35 million. Now, for top agents and teams by offices in New York City. In Queens, our top agent is Sinad Ahmedovic in our Forest Hills office. Long Island City, top agent is Jonah Stark. Queens, our top agent is also Jonah Stark. Riverdale, our top agent is Lee Moskoff. Riverdale, our top team is the Sanjay Tiki team. Brooklyn, our Brooklyn Heights top agent is Nancy Giddens. Park Slope 107th Avenue top agent is Joanna Mayfield Marks. Park Slope 107th Avenue top team is the Cappy Colgrove team. Park Slope 167th Avenue is top agent is Peter Grazioli. Park Slope 167th Avenue top team is the Aguayo team. Park Slope 167th Avenue top team It's a tie is Mark Wisoski and Jackie Liu. Cobble Hill top agent is Al Vieira. South Slope top agent is Justin Zucker. South Slope top team is the Temple Morrow team. Bay Ridge top agent is Bernadette Mitchell. And the top overall Brooklyn agent is Nancy Giddens. Congratulations, Nancy. In Brooklyn, the top team overall is the Cappy Colgrove team. Congratulations to all of you. Now in Manhattan, 445 Park Avenue, top agent, John Berger. 445 top team, Paul Anand. 499 Park at 445 Park, top agent is Ann Prosser. 499 at 445 Park, top team is Louise Philip Forbes' team. Upper East Side top agent is Curtis Jackson with Adam Flax. Upper East Side top team is the Green Risk team. West Side Columbus Avenue top agent is Anna Kahn. West Side Columbus top team is the Andrew Amelia team. West Side Broadway top agent is Lisa Lippman. And West Side Broadway top team is the Harris residential team. Soho top agent is Richard Ornstein. Soho top team is the Harkoff Lewis team. Village top agent is Jay Overby. Village top team is the Polson Shagaloff team. Flatiron top agent is Franz Preidel. Flatiron top team is Rudy Hanja and Seem Hanja. Tribeca top agent is Joan Goldberg. And Tribeca top team is Nadine Adamson and Kelsey Hall. And Midtown East top agent is Benjamin Hames. Harlem, our top agent is Whitney Ostetsentowski. Harlem, our top team is Gastiaburo and Stella team. And in Manhattan, overall, top agent is Lisa Lippman. Congratulations, Lisa. And Manhattan top team is the Harkoff Lewis team. Congratulations to all of you. Bess, it's now time for you to rejoin us for more company-wide announcements. And here's to looking forward to all of our successes in 2023.
Thank you so much, Hall. That was great. And to all of the regional award winners, you guys should feel so good. What an accomplishment. So big congratulations. So it's time for me to announce the 2022 company-wide awards. But before I do that, I just want to draw your attention to the Real Deal recognition of 4 of our BHS New York City agents for the highest sales volume of active listings. So Lisa Lippman, congratulations. David Kornmeyer, congratulations. Paula Del Nunzio, congratulations. And, okay, the number 1 agent with nearly $410 million was John Berger. Again, John has been named our top active listing agent, and we are so proud of this accomplishment, and congratulations to you, John, and to everyone who was named. Huge accomplishment. So now let's continue with the top 10 deals company-wide in 2022 in ascending order. Here we go. Okay. 1045 Madison Avenue, apartment 1011, sold for $27.37 million by the Paulson Shagaloff team. John Berger sold the townhouse at 20 East 73rd Street for $27.5 million. 15 Central Park West, apartment 9A, was sold for $29 million by Leonel Pireno and Rafael Salas. Christopher Burnside and Aubrey Peel sold 63 Duck Pond Lane for $30 million in Southampton. Lily Ferreira sold 7 La Costa Way for $31.8 million in Palm Beach. And Chris Burnside also sold 199 Cooper's Neck Lane for $32.2 million. Ashley O'Neill sold 1040 North Lake Way for $35 million in Palm Beach. And Amanda Brainerd sold 1045 Madison Avenue, Penthouse B for $35 million. And Suzanne Rowe sold 35 Hudson Yards, Penthouse 90 for $35 million. And now for the top deal in 2022, 8777 Collins Avenue in Florida sold for an incredible price of $120 million by Vivian Diamond and Jeff Cohen. Congratulations, everybody. Okay, now for the top agent awards. Our first company-wide award in 2022, BHS Closed Outbound Referral Agent of the Year award, goes to Matthew Mellinger, who is dual licensed at 445 Park Avenue and in our Bridgehampton office. Congrats, Matthew. Our next company-wide award is for the 2022 Development Marketing Broker, it's Brokers of the Year. And the winners are Candice Milano and Melissa Rambaran from our 499 at 445 Park Avenue office. Congrats, ladies. Now here are the company-wide 2022 top 10 agents. Starting with number 10, Miss Josie Wang in our South Miami, Florida office. Number 9, Peter Torino and Shannon North from our East Hampton office. Number 8, Chris Finley from our Greenwich, Connecticut office. Number 7, also from our Greenwich, Connecticut office, Rob Johnson. Number 6, from our West Side Broadway office, David Kornmeyer. Number 5, also from our West Side Broadway office, Mike Lubin. Number 4, from our 445 Park Avenue office, Amanda Brainerd. Number 3, from our Bridgehampton office, Christopher Burnside. Number 2, from our 445 Park Avenue office, John Berger. Okay, moving on now. And congratulations to all our 2022 top 9 out of top 10 agents. Way to go, guys. Great job. Before announcing our number 1 top agent, I want to share our company-wide top 9 out of 10 teams. So here we go. Let's start with the number 10 team, the Erfin Cromer team out of our Village office. Congratulations. Our number 9 team is the Amelia and Andrew team in the West Side Columbus Avenue office. Congratulations. I should say congratulations at the end because I'll be saying it way too many times. So congratulations. I'll wait till the end. Sorry, guys. Our number 8, the Paulson Shagalov team, also from our Village office. Number 7 goes to the Paul and Nan team from our 445 Park Avenue office. Number 6 goes to Liza Pulitzer and Whitney McGurk from our Worth Avenue office in Palm Beach. Number 5 goes to the Kirkpatrick team from our West Palm Beach office. Number 4, the Hudson Realty Group from our Hoboken, New Jersey office. Number 3, the Louise Phillips Forbes team from our 499 Park at 445 Park Avenue office. And the number 2 team from our West Side Broadway office is the Harris Residential team. Congratulations to all of our 2022 top 9 out of 10 teams. Amazing job, everyone. And now for our final 2 2022 company-wide awards, I'm so thrilled to announce in 2022, the top agent company-wide was Miss Lisa Lippman. Congratulations. Lisa Lippman is in our West Side Broadway office. Great job, Lisa. And now for our top team company-wide in 2022, the Harcove Lewis team in our West Broadway office in Soho. Congratulations, Ari, Warner, and your entire team. What a great job. And congratulations to everyone in our company-wide winners today. really, I know that 2022 started out really strong, as Hall mentioned, and it got hard in the last 2 quarters, but you guys did such a great job. And I know that right now we're in a little bit of a lumpy market, more challenging, rates going up, inflation, volatility in the stock market. I feel it, I see it. But I just want to say that in this time, when it's choppy, it's hard, I think this is when real estate agents shine. This is when your expertise is needed more than ever. And recently, I got an email from a client that worked with one of our agents who helped to sell and help the client to buy an apartment. And this was the most beautiful email in praise of this agent who stocked his fridge, who did everything from make sure that the leashes were set aside to make sure things were clean and mats were put away, just did everything above and beyond. And I think when you are in someone's home, you really get to see them and know what they like and what they don't like. And we can do second level hospitality. And we can treat them with that extra level of care, which I know you all do. So I think in this time, it's time to double down and show up bigger and better than ever. And so you guys always do that. And I just want to say thank you for all that you do every day. I know it's not easy, but we love you. This is a great community. And thank you so much for what you do. We're going to close out with a song from Shakira. It's in honor of Women's History Month. It's a little bit of an anthem for the ladies. So let it roll, guys. Thank you.
Hace rato que yo te vi tocar ese gato. Una loba como yo no está pa' novato. Una loba como yo no está pa' tipos como tú. Pa' tipos como tú. A ti te queda grande y por eso estás con una igualita que tú. Mortifique, mastique, trague, mastique. Yo contigo ya no regreso, ni que me llore ni me suplique. Entendí que no es culpa mía que te critique. Yo solo hago música, perdón que te salpique.